I do not understand what is going on. But we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna keep rolling. If anyone knows why it keeps cutting out, let me know. Cause I don't. What is going on? What is going? Is it because it's like in theater mode and like I can't do that? My bad. Like, can I not play 30 seconds of it? Like, is it a Twitch thing? Is it an OBS thing? What? Okay, whatever. Moving on.
I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
Thank you. And I feel the same way, my friend.
So
nobody.
You want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. You don't want to pile on and add to anything.
I hear his voice and I think he's still alive. I was
morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on.
He's still alive out there somewhere. He can't be gone.
So, like, this whole time in between episodes, 2 days, did he, like, not watch the entire thing by himself? And he had to have, right? Like, he had to have. So, assuming that, is this really him reacting to it? Or is this, like, is he just gonna do the same thing he did the last episode where he doesn't let the video play, which is why it's 5 hours long, and has, like, a comment about every small individual thing? He makes good points sometimes. Like, I'm not saying he, like, was just going off. You know, he kind of was. But, like, sometimes I was like, you know, yeah, Idubbbz was just throwing in random clips that he didn't really, like, have context to. And I get the dramatic effect. But, like, I understand both sides, but I also don't understand. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I don't really know, like, what caused Idubbbz to, what is his name, Ian, to make the content cop. I mean, like, I do, but I don't know, like, the back lore. You know, like, I don't know why they're not friends. I don't know. But I understand the context of like, what Ethan's been doing, and that Ian or Idubbbz is trying to be like, wake up, Ethan, like, and then Hassan. I don't know the other people personally. I mean, obviously I don't know them personally, but I also don't watch them personally. So don't expect me to be, like, super informed. All I really watch is Adam McIntyre, and that's who inspired me to stream this right now. I think this is very streamable content. Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, so let's go. Let's continue. But, like, did they formulate this whole podcast episode around their general consensus of the video? Is that what's happening?
Also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave.
He's like, bitch, I'm not sad.
Irresponsible.
Got him. Yeah, no, but as you can hear, our good friend he was reborn, frankly, as a newer man, a better man.
I control the chat
He
replay.
discovered empathy, and from that day moving forward, he truly was a changed man. And it's so sad to see him pass away.
I know you're only seeing, like, the top of it, but, like...
And
it's super irresponsible and shitty.
They're all about it.
And whoever this new guy is, I'm actually going to be doing some clone replacement conspiracy theories here, because I do not know who this new guy is. He's not funny.
They're all about it.
He's not a good video editor. He's not
I
even,
don't want to keep.
he's not good at making arguments. His video is like objectively bad. It's objectively bad. And what offends me more than anything, my friends, my lovely family members, my audience, is not the jabs, the mischaracterizations, the lies that he makes about me. The video is just not funny.
It's true.
And that's what really I find the most offensive about it. The man did not even attempt humor. Or maybe he did in a couple of places. Like when he was doing the Fortnite dance, that was funny.
I'm sorry. It wasn't funny. I mean, that wasn't really the point. Wasn't really the point of his video. Not only that, but like you're criticizing him on his editing skills. Okay.
Remember that part?
Yes, it actually
yeah.
is possible to eat healthy and still have a life.
Factor has made the biggest difference in how I eat.
Absolutely.
That was good.
Everything was correct.
That part was funny. That was a good joke he made, Idubbbz. So it was so good he put it at the top of his video. Oh, brother. Today's episode is sponsored by Shopify, if you believe it. Thank you to them. Do love them a lot. I want to thank our members, our gracious supporters who come here. And I want to thank just everybody in this community who stood by me
No, I
over these
cannot
past
do
2
this.
years, who have listened to me, who know who I am.
I cannot watch this 5-hour thing sober, and I will be eating snacks.
What I'm about. And you know, when this video dropped, everybody was like,
Oh
the thing is, like, the way that I operate is I'm transparent and I take everything head on. There's nothing in that video that we all haven't already talked about. You know what I mean? Exhaustively. And like, you know, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to respond to every second of this thing, you know?
Yes, you will.
The minute it dropped on Wednesday, was it? I immediately went and watched it live.
Uh-huh. We were all there. I mean, I wasn't watching it. We've all seen it.
Because I want people to know just how unafraid I am of this video.
Oh. And now you're making like a whole nother point about it in your second video.
How I mean, I didn't know what was in it, but I knew, like, okay, based on the people that he tagged in the description, I was like, okay, I know what this video is.
I literally would be so scared to do that.
I know you would be, Jay Shetty, but I had to make a principled stand.
Oh, God.
And I hope that Hassan Piker is watching how I responded to the video directly.
In the moment of it dropping, they seemingly made the choice to watch the video during the live stream because it would make them money. And it would be like a great thing to like add into the something like it aligned very well with and it would make a great title and yada yada, but essentially money. Okay, it would make them money. Out of context to anything else, that's the vibe I got, that they decided to watch this live when it dropped because it would make them money. But apparently he was just showing that he's not afraid. I mean, I don't think they were trying to make him feel afraid. I mean, yes, the wake up thing is a little much. But at the same time, they've tried to communicate, I'm sure, in private. And it's come to this. Or it's all just for money, right? I just want to make one thing clear. This is not like a redemption arc for anybody. I'm not going to go from this to starting to watch Idubbbz again. Okay? I'm going to do what I've always done, and that's watch people watch these people. Because the only reason I'm ever going to be on their physical freaking channel is simply for streaming purposes, for commentary, reactionary purposes. Okay? I will watch it so you don't have to go and make them give them a view. That's like the point, I feel. That's why I watch reactionary commentary most of the time, and also because they have a little bit more insight than I do most of the time. Most of the time. So.
Wednesday and today as an example of how it's done.
I did.
This is what you should do, okay? And if it's as bad as you say, then it should just be a fun. Look how much fun we're having. The views are great.
God.
Everybody's piled in. It's a win-win, buddy. Just watch the video on stream and eviscerate it, like I'm gonna do today to Idubbbz, right?
This is
So that answers
literally-
my question.
this
They have
is-
watched
oh
it,
my God.
and this is
oh my God.
formulated
I know,
around
man.
it.
I know it. So that's my preamble here.
So if they've watched it and they've formulated it, why is it still 5 hours long? Is this like a normal thing for them? No, they usually don't even reach. Holy shit, that's a long one. But they usually don't even reach 4. They'll get to like all the way to 358, 359, but they'll never reach 4. We're reaching almost 5 here. And they had time to react and read and yet it's 5. Okay.
Before we get started, there's also Teddy Fresh buy one get one 50% off. Let me plug real fast.
No, we're not doing that.
On it's
Great.
So last night he used him.
Take
Honestly, nothing better.
It's silly. XQC had a really funny reaction, and I just want to shout it out. I loved his reaction here, and despite our differences, I mean, the guy he speaks his mind, he speaks the truth, and here he is doing.
Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Dude.
Wake up. Wake up.
Oh, hell no!
Wake up.
Oh, hell no!
Brother, oh nah. Bro, content cop, and he picks the people that are the most content copable of all time, and it makes a content cop with them? Oh, I can't. Bro, you
I'm very
cannot make this up.
self-aware. It's really not.
So when he says things like this about those people, aside from Hassan, right? Because I've watched some of his content, I get the general gist, right, of what he, and I've seen videos of like him commenting on Kamala Harris talking about, or maybe it's Kamala, how she didn't really say enough about Palestine and what she was going to do. And that to me doesn't really give anti-Semite. I don't know. But then again, like, I don't know who the other people are. So they could be controversial, right? And I just want to say also that him saying that like they're all content copable, maybe they are. But they, at least to my knowledge, weren't like longtime friends. He's not trying to reach out to anybody else but you. Again, after I'm sure trying to talk privately, he's not trying to reach out to anybody but you. And he's using all this evidence to show you why he's reaching out. Like, he's concerned. And here's why. You can take it or leave it. And he definitely took it. He took it. You know what I mean?
And I mean, again, he's right? Like, why put these people who are, they're controversial, you know.
He is so high and mighty right now, though. Let me tell you. Oh my God. The condescension is at level 100.
They're
I
not.
hope you get
These are
PTSD.
not. Actually, nobody in that video is really an arbiter of purity, other than yeah. So that's funny. Anyway, shout out to XQC. Hassan this morning. I also want to give a shout out. Called me a Auschwitz Nazi guard. He's clearly on his good faith bent here. I in this clip talk about how I'm talking about my lived experience in Israel proper. Everybody knows that the use of the word proper is the correct usage to refer to the borders, the established borders of Israel. And I explicitly am talking about my experience living in Tel Aviv, which I say explicitly in this clip. And Hassan says, bro, really said my lived experience in Israel proper. And once again, I want to emphasize that that is actually totally unproblematic and the correct way. Unless his point is that there's no such thing as Israel proper.
I do think that's his point.
So then we're talking about something completely else. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is a
That's
still
not
from
his
a
point
movie.
at all. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm autistic. I'm behind. But like, maybe I'm wrong, okay? But I think his point is that you're talking about your good lived experience in a time when no one fucking asked. Like, read the room type shit. Like, maybe don't talk about like how great Israel is during a time of such great conflict, especially live with such a big platform. And apparently there's more evidence of you guys in other situations talking badly about Palestinians. Like when Ela said like they were like talking about how the babies there are born and learn to kill or something at the age of 2, and she was like, that's weird. You have to admit that's weird. You have to admit that's weird. Recently coming out calling people monkeys. I don't know the context, but like, hopefully he goes over. He goes to those clips and he's like, this is actually from this and this is what. Hopefully that happens and there's some context and some things, but like, man. The point is just really simply put that it's like saying America isn't capitalistic, it's not racist, and here, let's, like right now, oh my god, it would be perfect. Here's a great example. With Donald Trump being president and everything. It's like you coming on your live stream and being like, my lived experience in America has been great. Like, even if you're like, yeah, what we're doing is awful, but like, I love it here. That would be weird and controversial to say. I feel. It should be anyways. Like, everything here was stolen. Everything that was created here was a menagerie. Okay? The people who created the papers that we live off of now had slaves' teeth in their mouth. So like, let's be so real. Okay? What are you really proud of? It's not freedom. Like, nothing. So let's be real, okay? For you to go and say things about Israel right now, like, you can at least admit like that was just inappropriate. Like, and I'm saying this as if he's gonna watch this, and he's obviously not gonna ever watch this, but that's the point. That's like going to a white neighborhood in America where everybody's happy and outside for some reason, and taking a snapshot of it and being like, my lived experience in America has been great. Oh, shit. He's not talking about the border, the word proper, or any of that. It's just that it was inappropriate. It was insensitive.
Called the danger zone.
Zone of interest.
The zone of interest about a Nazi family who's in charge of Auschwitz living outside the concentration camp and raising their family casually there, which, as you know, is what I did living in Tel Aviv. And by the way, Hassan, let's not forget that we were friends. Did you not? You didn't know that I was living in Tel Aviv, aka outside a concentration camp?
I just
Frogan,
realized.
all you guys, Denims, who used to be huge fans of the show, you're gonna call me a Nazi fucking concentration guard for living in Tel Aviv.
I hope you get PTSD.
I sure wasn't hiding it, but okay. I see you're being good faith here today, Hassan, and I love to see it. I also want to give a shout out to Mike from PA, who I've watched the video now, and his exclusion from the video is just so fucking delightful. This guy wants to be part of the team so bad. He's not in the video. He goes, keeping quiet about this was so painful. Yeah, I'm sure it was, Maiko. Here's the thing that's even funnier after watching the video. Not everybody who participated in it was there physically. Several people sent in video clips, which means he was explicitly excluded from this video. But I don't know how that makes you feel, Mike, but I have a feeling there's going to be some chairs getting punched here later today. If they're not being punched right now. We have to keep our chairs safe, guys. It's just not right.
Hey, sweaty.
That's where I would have put an act.
You good?
Someone stole my Old Spice antiperspirant.
Thanks, YouTube.
So, Mike from PA, I give a salute to you, my friend, who are... I don't think anybody likes this guy. I just don't think anybody does.
I don't know who he is.
Which is great, because he is just actually just a despicable human being. And Hassan drops a tactical copium bomb. Now, as you guys know, Hassan has famously rejected the idea of wanting, of needing to or caring about watching my video. Every time it's about he needs somebody to hold his hand through the process. Someone like Bad Empanada, who's a liar and a anti-Semite, or Noah Sampson, who is, I mean, about to get sued for defamation. I mean, he's supposed to respond in 2 days. I think he thinks I'm kidding. We'll see. He has 2 days to respond. After that, it doesn't really matter what he says in terms of like retractions.
2 days to respond? Retractions? That's like, I wonder what his moon sign is, because that's crazy work for a Cancer, I feel. Like, they would say something less logical, I guess, sounding like less power hungry. They'd be more like, and this is, well, then again, I don't know, because when we're talking about public and embarrassment and things, they tend to get pretty extreme. And while he's not lashing out by yelling and screaming, he is making a 5-hour-long podcast video.
It's the time once it's closed, it's game time, baby. So Noah has 2 days. We'll see about that. I look forward to it. But here is Hassan. So his criticism of my immediately reacting to it is interesting. Listen to this.
Listen.
Well, you actually just described that you do see his tweets, and some you agree, and a couple you don't.
Right, he actually...
C word, so...
That's a good point, Eli.
This fucking guy always eating.
I explained.
Like, just separately, like, I feel like he's always eating. He's just always, like, leaning over and slurping up, like, his mommy's chicken.
I feel that way about you, dude.
I'm always eating?
You eat on this show
skinny
a lot.
legend, bro. Not that he's fat.
What do you have next to
You
you?
every clip he's eating.
You've been eating.
Every clip I see of him lately, he's eating.
There's eggs on your desk.
Am I eating them now? Am I doing like this every time? Every time I play a video, by the way, let's talk about fair use. Every time I play a video, this is me silently going. Anyway, he does that for about a minute here.
Claimed that she was
She was in their shadow.
interacting with
Hassan, by the way, a prolific content thief. Shout out.
with it at some point. But
Yeah.
Eli's point is even better. He literally just said,
Him and saying content thief is absolutely insane. Insane. He makes funny little segments on a podcast that is already structured. You just add funny little segments, but it's the same thing every single time, and you're reacting to things all the time. Whether you're making a skit about it as a reaction or not, like, that's why I don't watch it. That's why I don't like podcasts most of the time, because they're usually all structured the same. So, and then, like, him doing the whole lawsuit thing that he did, where everyone was like, yeah, free speech. to be able to use videos is crazy. People just need a job, you know? This is his job. That's just what he does. And you're just hating on it because you have to do so much more to make it work for you. I don't know why, but you do, apparently. I mean, I guess. And his videos where he talks by himself, I mean, in comparison to they're not even live now that I think about it. His videos of, like, if he were to do a podcast of just himself, no adding ad-libs to anything, no cast members, just him and like a webcam, just live, it would probably get a lot of views because people are curious. But if it was like his regular thing, it would lose interest so very quickly, whereas Hassan can do that no problem. And if you're jealous about that, that's okay. You found a way to make it work for you. No one's shitting on you for that. So maybe don't shit on other people for making it work for them. I wish I could do what Hassan is doing, and I'm sure that you do too. So.
He's seen these tweets.
Lovely, Dan.
He
Beautiful.
just said so himself. So.
And that he even agreed
Stunning.
with some of them, but he didn't like them to not stir the pot or whatever. So,
I don't think this
what
person
can
is
you
going to
do?
understand
Life's weird, man.
being made.
It sounds like it's your feed.
It is, yeah. Well, so the reason, what I saw was him.
Yeah, I think the goal here is to
Denims in chat.
basically
talking about how I
watch
was this
this in 3.5 second increments in an effort to
And by the
say
way,
that he watched
let's
the whole
not
thing,
address what it is
but basically
that
to
was said about
showcase to his audience, like,
Clearly,
oh, I watched the whole thing, it was all a bunch of nonsense.
What?
Have you ever seen such catastrophic coping in your life? This man, in response to me not being a coward like he is, and immediately putting it on and
You know
cold
what?
reacting.
Just because he said the eating thing, I'm gonna go get my own food. Enjoy my cat turkey. Yes, bitch. I'm wearing a moo-moo. I will be eating cheddar, white cheddar popcorn today. Try to make it less crinkly.
It live, brave and heroic. He goes, no,
tone it down a
actually,
little bit.
it's cowardly that Ethan watched it because he pauses it too much.
I'm at a loss for words.
So my reaction is valid, but only if I pause it the exact right amount. Hassan, this may be a foreign concept to you, but it's called commentary. It's
Oh my god. Don't make me angry. I watch a lot of I watch a lot of commentary. I mentioned this. I was very annoyed with his video. I'm gonna put it in a bowl so it's not so loud. I'm gonna put this over here. Very irritated with his commentary video because he kept pausing it. So.
Use is called transformative use. I am expressing my thoughts thoroughly to every frame of this video, and I would encourage you to do the same. And I won't judge you based on how much you pause. you know, I'd just like to see your reaction. You know, I'd like to see your response to the video and not just cherry-picked moments of it. As Bad Empanada, hold your hand, and that would be nice. But in the meantime, I think anybody, including his fans, can look at this and roll their eyes at just how, you know, plainly cowardice he's displaying here. It's just unreal. So that's Hassan, my friend. I look forward to you watching my video. Somehow watching the video is cowardly. Like, dude, the guy is creating world building in his mind. It's amazing.
I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke.
Yeah, I was like, okay, but then it was just like a nightmare, I guess, in the video. Yeah. Frogan, by the way, the night of the content nuke dropped, was on her stream crying. And I'm just flabbergasted by this, which, like, again, I've accused her and all of them of being crybullies. The thing is that I'm always only ever responding to these people, and of course, Frogan being the genesis for most of this whole thing.
Why was she crying?
When I quietly unfollowed her on Twitter after her heinous tweet defending Hamas terrorists on October 7th. And she lost her mind about it, and it became a...
Where's the receipt? Where is at least the tweet that she put out? Where's that? Is he gonna show it?
Sorry, because she was so vocal about it. But now she's ever the crybaby. Now, Frogan, you did not have to be in this video, right? But here's her response that evening after joining the dog pile.
They're not just being in the video. Like, she was like dancing and doing the L and like flipping you off.
Well, you did a Fortnite L on me. Yeah, you flipped me off, girl. You did that. Nobody made you go into Hassan's office and do a Fortnite dance, okay? Nobody made you do that. This is your music. This is actually your music. Okay, if Idubbbz video had a soundtrack, it would be that. Go ahead, Zach. This is the soundtrack.
Kind of hits all slowed down like that.
Okay.
I see them
Why
dancing,
was she
and I'm
crying?
I'm still flabbergasted by this video. Anywho, here's Frogan from the night that they dropped the video.
And to be quite honest, it's very hard to look at, you know, like, you know, karma will make its way. To me, it's very hard to look at it that way. I wish I had that point of view. You know what I mean? Because, like, you know, you see the shittiest fucking people at the top.
By the way, who's #1 streamer on Twitch right now? Political streamer?
Asmongold.
Okay.
Not every day.
No, but like, Hassan is at the top, right?
He's definitely at the top. He's at the top. He is
I don't
the
know.
top. You know what I mean?
Because, like, you know, you see the shittiest fucking people at the top. I don't know if I believe in karma. You know what I mean? And I'm like...
Listen, if you don't, you should. You're a living example of it in action.
I don't understand how is she crying.
Well, she didn't even start the tears yet.
If I had to lose my career over this bullshit...
Why are you talking about losing your career? You literally chose to be in this video to dogpile and, like, just to participate in this shit show. Did you not, like, what do you think? What are you thinking? How are you going to sit there and cry? It's just mind-bending. This girl is perpetually the victim after starting this entire thing.
I can say, you're not just choosing to be in a video, you're being in a content cup of a friend betraying a friend,
Yeah,
right?
it's like-
So it's like a very
You're participating in, like...
aggressive participation.
Yeah, it's not like a casual cameo. You're in, like...
You're not just like calling into Morgan Pierce to talk about something.
For example, I did a cameo in the Leafy content cop. that meant something more than just like, oh, Ethan's here for do a cameo. Like, let's not be silly about this. We know what you're doing there, okay? And so, is karma real? I don't know. Let's see how you feel about it.
I was
on one side of the spectrum, right? She's speaking out about things that have been done to her wrong, right? That she doesn't think was right. I'm assuming is the whole purpose, right? She's kind of sticking up for something that she thinks is wrong. And so on that level, your response to that should never be like, you didn't have to do that if you were afraid, right? I can agree with that. I mean, I'm sorry. I cannot agree with that. Because that's a little, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just standing up for myself, I'm just defending myself. And it would be, like, normal to be like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job because I'm taking this person to court or whatever. All of those are pretty rational. And to say, like, well, you didn't have to take them to court would be a crazy stance, okay? But considering that she was in a content cop, not a cameo, like they're saying, it is kind of crazy for her to be openly talking about her fear about losing her career over this. Because if you weren't sure, and if you thought you were doing this for the right reasons, you wouldn't at least publicly be talking about your fear of your career being lost, I feel. I will say that it's a little weird to just openly tell your audience. I mean, no matter how honest you are with your audience, I feel like that's still something you should, like, tell your close friend. Like, I'm really nervous about the outcome of how this is gonna be. Like, I don't know. Your audience should think that you're pretty strong on it, I feel. You can have the same stance in life, like people being on top that are wrong. I don't think she was talking about Hassan, so it's just not even, right? But I think their response to being like, you didn't have to be in the content cop, like, that's true. I also don't know the context, so.
Consistent in my views, and I have been consistently against genocide, and it consistently uplifted the Palestinian people.
Was that a part of the content cop?
This? No, this is, wait. Oh.
Others can't say that, but I can.
Did content cop uplift the Palestinian people? Is my question.
I don't even think he barely even mentioned the conflict. I don't think he raised money, he did a charity. He basically achieved literally nothing for the people in Gaza that apparently are the ones he's helping, allegedly, by doing this. It's really something how everybody's activism these days is just shitting on me. Okay? Every time someone every time someone hates on me, a fucking PETA falls from the sky in Gaza or something, apparently. Like, that's what they act like, you know what I mean?
Same for Frogan.
We're 20 minutes in and we are not reacting to it yet.
And I feel like such a bitch for crying, but it's just like,
I didn't want to say that.
you sit and reflect, and it's just like, what the fuck, dude? There are some days I just sit and I'm just like, I'm just like, I'm like, what did I do to deserve this?
Well, let's say, first of all, participating in a fucking treacherous video that's essentially, Brutus stabbing Caesar at the Senate floor. Of course, me being Caesar. Yeah. He's Idubbbz is Brutus. Caesar. And then Frogan is like one of the extras.
Senator?
Yeah. No.
One of the extras.
Who fucking who?
We knew who held the power. That's why they killed him. It was me, baby.
I have no pity.
Yeah, she goes, what did I do to deserve this? Literally everything in this entire exchange?
Just like a few hours before the video that came out that you're in it.
How can you be? Anyway, my goal is not to totally dunk on Frogan. Unfortunately for her, she just makes it so damn easy. But like, I'm not, obviously she's not the main villain in this story by any means.
Right.
So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I hope you get PTSD.
I hope that you have a great life and you find a really nice job.
With peace and love.
You know, one day. You know. Or at least, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good.
We got them.
By the way, anytime someone's like, what did we do to deserve this? I'm just like,
Yes.
well, there was this part. I can't get over his inclusion. Like, bro, I don't even know why you're in this video, bro. Who are you? Like, I know your name's Sean DeBlack, okay? I've said it before. I've seen you before, but like, I've never talked about you, man. At least like,
He's only.
I mentioned him
There was
like
a clip
in one.
of him in the
Yeah,
content.
so I included him in the content because he said he wanted someone to kill Destiny,
Right.
which was, you know.
Is that enough to be in this content?
Not at all. You brought him up one more time. It was I think he was the one complaining that Hassan doesn't react to his videos, something like that.
Oh yeah, that was true. That was a great clip.
Oh.
He started accusing Hassan of being racist for platforming.
But that wasn't a criticism of him.
Yeah, but that's not really. That's more criticism of Hassan.
Well,
Again, I don't know any of these other people. I know, sort of, the H3 cast. I know Hassan. That's it. Oh, obviously Idubbbz.
right. Listen, okay, maybe he thinks that there's a beef between us. I don't really know anything about him. I've barely talked about him. So, okay, listen, maybe it's a one-sided beef. That's fine. We love those.
And if that's true, weird, right? But I don't know the context, so who knows?
Welcome to the game. Welcome to the arena. Idubbbz. Now, this is very interesting to me. It was only a mere, I don't know how long ago exactly, but it wasn't very long ago at all that Idubbbz put forth his new thesis on the world, one of empathy and humanistic values. Here he is talking about it.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people
I'm really bad at
for very lackluster reasons, and you know, obviously didn't have any accountability online
That was just
whatsoever
the intro.
on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and you know, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty.
You know what's smart? Dinner on autopilot. Eat smart with Factor.
Adobe Creative Cloud enables me to work myself on lots of different projects.
Now, what's fun?
Like, at the same time, he's not wrong. This is what I mean. Like, I get that it was the intro to the video. That's what he's like. He's trying to hold attention, I guess. Trying to hold the same. Trying to give the kids what they want. But I see his point. Like, if he's reaching out to him as a friend, why would he do all this? I see his point, so.
About that is like, that wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? Like, that was maybe a couple months ago. And he goes, so there's something uniquely evil about me, right? that wasn't present in any of the other people he made content cops about. All the numerous, shitty behavior and people he talked about, I'm uniquely evil. I am uniquely evil to the point where he's going to do a 180 on his newfound moral principles. Nobody deserves this, he says, unless you're a Zionist.
I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
Nobody. I didn't hear an asterisk, buddy.
Shitty.
You know, it's like if you're going to make such a grand statement, you can't do a 180 on it next month. Like, you got to at least try to live up to your values for like at least 30 days, man.
And they did talk about it on their podcast.
Didn't Ethan, still need confirmation on, proper names for things and people so that he's not being racist or transphobic or homophobic? Isn't he still, checking with his mommy to make sure that he's being politically correct? As if he doesn't talk about it normally, as if he doesn't hear about it normally, as if he's not surrounded by it, as if he has no idea what he's actually talking about. Although I will say, this should definitely not be a redemption arc for Idubbbz. Definitely not. I just don't think that's doesn't feel good. So I kind of agree with oh, but I'm holier than thou and this person's doing this. I can see that point of view too, but at the same time, we haven't even started watching it yet.
From a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's one.
This is when he went on his apology. I'm not edgy anymore.
Okay, so I have one that's newer. What, Hila?
I was just gonna say they did talk about it on their podcast, so I thought that was what they have to say, and we're all moving on.
Well, so that's what I'm pulling up now. This one was actually very recent.
He did make a choice to no, I'm gonna throw out everything I said before and just go and do a content call.
He's like, actually, I'm gonna fall back to my exact same ways.
Yeah.
That I
it was just the intro.
tried to make amends for against my friend of 10 years for the crime of being a Israeli, basically. I mean, I don't. So anyway, here they are talking about it on their podcast, which. Their critically acclaimed podcast, Maximum Damage, which certainly the viewership would be not the reason that he would be desperate to make a comeback in my name. I wouldn't even dare to point out Maximum Damage.
I'm kind of pointing it out.
No, I'm not meaning to. I just want to show.
Kind of seems like you mean to.
Well, okay. Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say my intentions in this moment. They didn't even show up. They're just showing some random fucking. Okay, here we go. She ruined my career podcast. Okay, this is them. Yeah. So, just totally irrelevant, totally besides the point, and for no reason, I'm showing you the viewership on his podcast.
Why?
I think Tom Ward gets more views than this dude.
No.
Oh.
No.
Tom Ward pulls more views consistently than these two.
True.
No, I'm just saying. Is it
What's the
the
point?
reason why he's decided to throw his entire new moral framework out the window? Is because his episode from 3 weeks ago got 3,000 views?
One might suggest that.
Well, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't suggest that. That's below the belt.
No.
But we wish you all the best here in Maximum Damage. And
Who's getting 4, 5?
one day people are going to tune in,
3
I
and a half?
promise. The problem with this show might be that it's just not good. Have they considered that?
Well, that's addressable.
Because people watch this show, right?
Right, and it's not good.
It's presumably
People watch,
they like
so
it. They like it for
something
some
else
reason.
must be going on.
So is he basically saying it's better to be bad? You'll be more successful if you're bad? It's the vibe I'm getting.
They presumably like it for some reason.
Maybe he doesn't promote it. He has issues promoting.
True, he does.
Yeah.
He's allergic to promotion.
Yeah.
This is not good.
His best way of promoting his fight is to utterly betray one of his fighters, who's representing our podcast in his fight. I was sick.
It's super
No, you definitely
irresponsible
overreacted.
and shitty.
And him
Don't be
not
hard on yourself.
sticking up for you.
Can you believe this guy? Like he actually wanted this. He actually thought this was a good idea. There is no way that any of this will be anywhere near worth it for him.
Edie has affected my confidence. My wife, Sherry, says it doesn't matter, but it matters.
No.
And again, there stands no chance of damaging my reputation at all. Like this changes nothing for me, but it definitely says a whole lot about you. A lot, by the
very
way, that we didn't
Trump
know.
of you.
I suspected in my worst possible nightmares, as you pointed out.
You don't even have to vote. We rigged the votes.
That my friend of 12 years, a close collaborator.
Wait, it was 10 a minute ago.
I don't know the exact number. It's been a while.
It's growing.
Well, when was the
colorblind?
Yeah, when was the colorblind video?
Yeah.
I don't know if
How
that was
much
our
more
first one, but
condescending
That was
can
like
we
the
get?
peak of us making videos together.
we did.
Right?
We did he's definitely my closest collaborator. I mean,
That was 8 years ago.
8 years. So
Right.
I did a ton of videos with him. He did a ton of videos with me.
These
It
are
was very
good.
symbiotic. It was very, we enjoyed it a lot.
Love me some white cheddar
My
popcorn.
friendships bond.
Yeah, I know. That he would throw away his friendship of 8 years in favor of a bunch of terrorist sympathizers who support CPS coming and taking my children away.
And
I didn't dream
snarkers.
that that would be his position.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
You know.
He didn't like his last audience, but he's gonna like the new Snarker audience.
I saw a ton of anti-Semitic comments in his.
When Ethan says these things about these other people, especially about Hassan, like the comments and stuff, he can't control the comments. I don't know what's going on with the comments. But I haven't seen any evidence behind these people being anti-Semitic. You have the evidence of them crying on their stream, but you haven't shown them being anti-Semitic. You haven't shown them or their posts. So, at least Ian did that. I don't know if what they did, I don't know the context of all these people. I don't know their lore. I don't know if they're bad or not, but like, you're really going tit for tat. Especially when you're talking about numbers. That's so power hungry. So power hungry.
Someone had screenshotted a ton of anti-Semitic comments. I'd be like, oh, well, Idubbbz, it looks like not all of your old audience left. You've managed to maintain a nice contingency there. But anyway, here, go ahead. Tell us about your...
Of course he did. If he was able to make this much traction, like when other people make videos about you, I don't mean shit really. Like I don't get that much of attention unless you make attention about it because you have a bigger platform than them. But when someone comes out of retirement and they bring this much traction for so many different people, girl, just because he wasn't putting his face, like, I mean, yes, he had himself in the thumbnail, but just because he wasn't promoting it like crazy, just because he wasn't making content about people and drama, like, he has an audience and they stayed. Okay. Even if there were people that knew about him and know about you, don't watch either of y'all, aren't gonna keep watching either of y'all, even that as an audience.
Ethan's upset with, I think, some of our connections, and, we've tried to reach out to Ethan to talk privately. Basically, it just seems like we're at a bit of an impasse. So We want to stay out of the drama as much as possible.
This dumb liar bitch was simultaneously planning to make a content cop while playing nice, presumably trying to play nice and act like he's above it all. You know, what a disingenuous loser. And he tries to continually say like, oh, how did he know this about me? And I'm like, bro, you're literally proving everything I thought about you was correct.
Don't want to pile on and add to anything.
Oh, that's so nice. They didn't want to pile on and add to anything. Okay, buddy. Appreciate that. A lot has changed since then. Now, at this point, I think it's time we just start watching. I need to thank our sponsor.
Please, no.
And from this point onward,
I have a small update before we thank our sponsor.
Go ahead.
Completely irrelevant to the discussion today, but
Right.
Shoe Nice is in our chat right now,
my boy.
and he's saying that he's auditioning for Lolcow tonight.
That's fucking,
What?
that could be very good.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't
That
care.
could
Oh
be
my goodness.
very, very
I
good.
don't know if he's lying.
Okay.
I will say.
Well, no, but I hope, because that would be a stroke of genius to add him to the ensemble.
Honestly,
I
yes.
don't know we're gonna
interesting.
start watching it. Okay.
Out of me.
Shopping online comes with digital threats, so turn on NordVPN. Steer clear of phishing websites.
Fearlessly, heroically.
Play it.
Something that Hassan, in his wildest dreams, could never achieve because he's a coward.
Oh my God.
I know it. I know it. Prove me wrong, man. Prove me wrong.
Oh,
First.
oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Okay. I just want to make sure y'all could hear.
Oh, man. Anyway, go on, Ian. Let's continue.
To me,
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
so yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet, unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole. By the way, truly remarkable act of cowardice. One thing that these snarkers and critiquers have consistently done is include the crew in like a totally unnecessary way with the explicit purpose of trying to drive a wedge in our team, because they will not be happy until I am alone and have no support in the entire world. And that's why he brings this up. And it's obvious because it's such a poorly conceived point. It's kind of hard to even understand his point. He goes on to talk about Adam McIntyre in a really bizarre way. Here, take a look. So, for putting you in that position, Olivia, you're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not do anything. And
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is.
Dan was trying to sabotage me. He put a script on my computer
Delicious.
to disable the pause button.
We all thought it was a great idea.
Not today. Not today.
I thought maybe I'd try and get out of here by like 4:30 or so, you know?
That's not happening.
Oh, man.
Speaking of eating, we're gonna have to order
it's a-
food today because this boy's going for a long time. I'm gonna go back because we weren't paying attention. So his point is that Adam, because I said Adam McIntyre put Olivia in a weird position, that I shouldn't have criticized him for being friends with people who are calling CPS.
Yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet, unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that
Why are
position,
we
Olivia. You know,
replaying it?
I think the fundamental premise that's completely inappropriate here is that
Don't
somehow
I'm in my moo. I'm comfortable. I'm at home.
Adam McIntyre just being a dickhead is equivalent to your friends, your associates, and your now collaborators supporting, encouraging people to literally call CPS to come take my children away.
Which also, like, can we now say, because last night we did make sure we finished the video and watched everything, there was not even one mention of CPS in the whole video.
He didn't find that to be relevant. He skirted next to it. He kind of like skirted past it, but he never bothered to explain. And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
So, like,
without
for a lot of
without even explaining that at least that's the context, it's pretty cowardly.
I'm shocked. Yeah.
I personally would not want to be friends with anybody that called CPS on me, you know? And I wouldn't want to be friends with anybody that, like, is friends with somebody that did that to me either. I would understand that. But I also, like, don't deserve that. And I'm sure a lot of moms that are bad moms don't think that they deserve that either. So that's like it's a pretty basic thing to say. However, why were they called on you? Like, was it warranted? Was it not warranted?
This whole video has left me utterly shocked, frankly. It's a pretty big omission. It's a very big omission.
Yeah, it's pretty glaring.
And like, listen, I'm not one to be like context. I mean, it is important, but that's like Hassan's thing. He just says it reactively about anything without actually knowing what was said or anything. But this is important context.
It's like the main big event that this caused our reaction to so many things, and then he just shows our reaction without saying what happened. That's crazy.
By the way, something else he conveniently leaves out is his friend Denims, who he co-signs, includes in this video, defends heroically. What he doesn't include, actually, is, well, this clip, which is going to be very painful for him to watch. But I play it for posterity's sake only. This could be why I was upset at Denims and why I dared to utter the unforgivable B word towards her. Well, actually, no, that was because she was denying rape. This is
right.
It all kind of culminated. Let's be real. She's not a great person. Anyway,
I don't know
Ian,
anything
I
about
hope you
her.
watch this part here. Denims hosts this and see what she says, and then now we wonder why people are calling Child Protective Services.
But they called it before I even did this stream.
A 3% IRA match with Robinhood Gold. The reckoning has commenced.
Great.
Congrats, you too.
Amazing.
Where is the hot sauce bar?
Mom, we didn't get a hot sauce bar.
This was
He lets
before
his dogs shit all over his mansion.
This was like basically 2 days before CPS came to our house. Here she is watching Bad Empanada. Once again, someone that Ian takes no acknowledgement of, despite him constantly being on the screen, constantly being like the source of a lot of information that these people are sharing. This man, he did a game role play where he kills Hila.
Yeah, and he's definitely a piece in the puzzle in a lot of these situations that is also left out for no reason.
Yeah, so I mean, like he shows Matt Lieb, for example.
She has a literal... Her tattoo, dude, it's showing right now in this episode is so purposeful. Like, it's so weird. What a weird, complicated thing. Like, imagine being proud of being American right now and getting an American flag. Like, nobody in their right mind would want to be your friend. Anybody that has any idea what's going on would not advise you to do that. I don't know how it would be in Israel. I want to say, I don't know who Bad Empanada is either. I don't have a fucking clue. But if he really did play a game of any kind where he was just cool with the idea of doing something like that, I mean, that's awful. Why would we listen to anything someone like that would have to say? But then again, I don't know. I didn't watch it myself.
He's just like, oh, he just hates Matt Lieb because he's anti-Zionist. It's like, no, I was I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to keep the criticisms to the exact moments.
Like this.
I'm just going to play it, but yeah, his total omission of the existence of Bad Empanada, who's one of like the greatest internet provocateurs of all time, someone who's been decried by Hassan himself until he became his lapdog. Everybody knows this guy's a lunatic. Like, it is not a secret. Go on.
Leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons.
Now pay attention to her
chat. He doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know.
Now this is Denham's reacting to this 2 days before CPS was called, and let's just take a look at the chat. It's call CPS, child endangerment, that's CPS, social service. Bro needs to unironically call CPS. That's child endangerment. Okay, if his kids have Giardia, they actually need to be taken away. Actual worst father ever. Wow. So Ethan isn't only sexualizing underage girls, he's also neglecting children. Okay. Decliner needs to take care of his kids. What the fuck? Giardia means you're leaving your dog shit on the floor for a while and your kids are walking on it and probably eating it, etc., etc., etc. The chat goes on and on and on. So, yeah.
Or what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia.
Giardia, by the way, extraordinarily common, that dogs and people actually even contracting that disease.
Especially puppy that we just got, that happens a lot.
Yeah, it happened with Ducky. He had it too when we got him. It's very common, and they're feigning like this is some exotic disease. Anyway, it doesn't even matter really, because nobody ended up even having Giardia except Olive.
Let's do a quick search on that. Something I can look up real quick. Common.
The dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, how is
this
how is it that,
true?
like, maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting Giardia.
Call CPS. He advocates for a fascist apartheid state, doxes random people, endangers his children. Dogs getting Giardia is not uncommon, but your kids getting it means you're not cleaning up your dog shit. Motherfucker. Okay, well, at least someone's halfway there. Motherfucker's family rooting around in dog shit. Call CPS. Ethan is fighting shadows in his basement. He was wearing diapers. Dogs are shitting all over the house.
I don't know. The chat is definitely making it seem like there's literally just shit all over his house. That I don't know. But your entire family contracting something from shit is a little sus. Is it CPS worthy? No. Is it something I would watch? Yes. Is it something I would definitely learn from? Yes. I think they're definitely taking it a little too far though. But I also don't know like where they're getting the information from. I don't know how bad his house looks. You know what I mean? Like,
California Child Protective Services, where are you? Child Protective Services alert. Imagine being such a bad parent. You didn't notice your child ate shit. His child ate shit, ate dog shit, and got an ancient disease from it. Child could die.
Ancient disease.
Why don't they have so many dogs if they don't take care of them?
You know how old some of these
it goes.
things
I
are,
encourage
though,
you
for
to
real.
pause it and read these. But this is the context that was not mentioned. He says, "Wow, Ethan is such a bad dude, and he's so mean to Denham's."
And then there's the one thing I forgot we do need to mention is that the top right is the full chat, right?
Yeah. So just to make a correction, this is the live chat.
Okay.
This is a highlight of all the CPS calls, which, by the way, is extraordinarily large amount. It's something like 50-something chats over the course of like 3 minutes. And that is basically your entire chat putting forth this notion of calling CPS unmoderated, unchecked, uncorrected. This is the behavior that Ian is explicitly co-signing by having her do an L Fortnite dance on me, and not explaining why I'm actually angry, that it seems like she's directly responsible for CPS coming to my house in the morning and interviewing my children.
We want to stay out of the drama.
Now, do you not have a problem with that, Ian? Because it doesn't seem like you do. And if that's the case...
I chose to launch my business with LegalZoom.
Right.
They keep the process simple and
Right.
efficient. You can launch your business in...
And I can actually agree with that. Because the chat was pretty exaggerative and she didn't really say anything about that. But again, I don't know why, aside from exaggerating them one time that I'm aware of getting Giardia, their whole family, which is, again, weird, very sus, and like, what happened? Like, what's going on? What happened here? What are we doing? If there's more to it, and there's obviously like evidence of said thing or whatever, then that's like CPS calling worthy, then, you know, obviously, I don't care what time of day. If it's actually warranted, like, I don't care, but from this point of view, it doesn't look like he did anything. But who would say what they did wrong, right?
I really gotta say, I don't think you're the good guy in this situation, buddy. And I don't know who you are. Who killed Ian and brought in this fucking weird clone? You know, they say the clone is always dumber. It's supposed to be like the 5th iteration. Like, what happened to the other 4 Idubbbz?
I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or
I know,
hate.
man. I know.
We want to stay out of the drama.
You remember that movie Duplicity? He's like the 5th one. That's like drooling.
Old Mondays. Now we have shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses,
Reading the chat, co-signing
it's very,
it.
very, very dangerous when infants
Pretending to have some medical knowledge.
get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult.
You're actually so stupid.
Not an ounce of pushback of saying, hold on, guys, maybe you're being over, you know, maybe you're being a little ridiculous.
She encourages it. And she's saying that, oh, wow, babies can't get the same diseases as adults. It's like, you are obviously childless. And as I said in the content note, will clearly remain that way because I don't think you'd be a good girlfriend or wife. Just because
Why would you
very mean.
even say something like that, though? Like, that's crazy. Why would you even say something like that, though? That's crazy. That's actually kind of wild. Like, I get that they're clowning on him, that they're going on him. But you can't, like, stoop to the same level and then be like, but I'm the good guy. That's crazy. You can just say, obviously childless, and then move on. You don't have to say forever, because you would be a terrible girlfriend, terrible wife, terrible mom. That's wild. And it seems like you're trying to poke at her insecurities or something that you think that she has. Why? Because her tits are out? Like, girl, find something else. That's just sexist as fuck. I'm sorry, but like, that's crazy. You can say she didn't check her chat and that's absolutely inappropriate and crazy, but you don't have to insult her. That's crazy. You honestly don't have to insult any of these people. You can just say that they're wrong, why they're wrong, and move on with your life. But instead, you're almost 40-something-year-old man. 40 this year, doing this. So, crazy.
Okay. I wouldn't want to be with someone this mean, frankly. And so that's the reason why I think she'll be childless.
Like, she's obviously young. Obviously childless, because what she's saying and like acting, people who act like they have some kind of medical experience to where they can say things about diseases that they don't really know anything about, at least not in personal experience. Like, if you've personally dealt with it in some way, shape, or form, I could understand wanting to say something about it and just being like, I don't know much about it, but this is my experience. Totally cool. But I understand their point and what they're saying, but you don't need to insult her. You don't need to insult Idubbbz. You don't need to insult Drogon or that other person or that other girl. I don't know. You don't have to insult nobody. Like, it doesn't make you look good. It doesn't prove your point. It makes you seem like you are guilty. Just, I mean.
But that's just my opinion. Good luck out there.
Ditto.
You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
You literally just explained why infants catch everything. Should I go back? Or are you too... She's actually so dumb, she doesn't even know the words that are coming out of her mouth. And this isn't even the first time she's perpetually...
You don't have to say she's dumb. She just doesn't know something, okay? She just doesn't know. Because an infant, by literal term, yes, is below 6. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's right above newborn, and it's complicated to explain, but an infant is not like, once they're 6 months, their immune system they built using their mom's immune system is no longer there. And so they can become, depending on how their immune system was before that, I mean, once that's gone, it's a little bit more risky for them to be out in the streets, for sure. And it's still true, like, any disease that we get can be more complicated for a baby, an infant, a child. It's just true. It's just factual information. Everyone should be aware that kids are more vulnerable, because they just are. So that's not entirely, like, she's not just spewing out totally shit information. She's just talking about things she doesn't really know much about, and she doesn't need to be doing that, because it doesn't make any sense to do that. Especially if everyone's saying CPS. Like, I agree with the point, but you don't need to call her dumb. You don't need to be insultive. You don't have to be nasty. The world is already nasty. The most powerful thing you can do is to be positive, is to be a light, a beacon in a non-religious way. Okay? And talking about how someone is dumb is not it. She is... Like, I understand. I can understand being angry. If she called them, if she's the reason they were called, I can understand the anger. But on your live stream calling her dumb, simply for being misinformed and then trying to talk on it, I guess. I mean, just say what it is. You don't have to insult, you know?
Self-owning herself.
That has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
Baby who has no immune system. What is the immune system for? To stop diseases and infections, to battle them, rather to fight them. And what happens if you don't have an immune system? You get sick more.
Yeah.
I learned that in medical school, which is apparently some deep medical knowledge that she does not have access to.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that I said in this story, which, by the way, was apparently compiled by his crew, playing...
No wonder this motherfucker's always sick. Yeah, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now.
I have 3 kids under the age of 5.
Yeah.
Again, childless. Like, literally.
I can agree. I have 2 kids under 5. We're always sniffling, coughing, or something along the lines. Granted, he seems like he's going through a lot more than that. But I can agree with that. Like, I'm always seemingly sick, and I feel weak, bitch. I don't know how anyone is alive right now. I can, like, I could, when Chaperone said it, like, I was like, girl, I understand what you're saying. Even though she wasn't talking about moms. Okay. From that perspective, I was like, yeah, I could see where she would say that. But at the same time, not everybody feels that way, you know. I get that too. So I'm not, like, totally agreeing with her, but, like, we are all tired and sick all the time. Yes, that's totally true. Giardia is not an unknown or ancient or whatever. It is a little exaggerative. She is doing a little too much. I will agree, for sure. She doesn't need to be called dumb, though. We don't have to put our audience in that mindset. We don't.
So childless. Like, I mean,
she's young.
I mean, they also like to include your Tourette's in it, and when you had the tick of sniffing, they were acting like you're either sick or on drugs. So
oh yeah, and they're all fans. They're all like former fans. Like they know I have tics, and then like all of a sudden, when I'm a bad guy, they have no problem being ableist and pretending like I'm on cocaine, which is something perpetually pushed. And even Ian in his video has a moment where he explicitly cuts in a cough or a tick or something. Like it's cut. Like he inserted it intentionally.
Now, I want to talk about this because that's true. He did do that. He did. That's something I mentioned in the beginning of this stream before I started. He did add in cuts out of context, things like that that would, if it was about me, bother me too. I think he was trying to point out that he's going through something physically that's because of him going through something mentally. I think that's why he was doing that. But I do think it was a little insensitive to do that specifically, like, especially with someone that's terminally ill in some kind of way, which is what Ethan has said he is. I'm using his words when I say that. I don't know if that's what he considers Tourette's to be, if he's got something else going on. I don't know, right? But to purposely put in coughs and shit is kind of weird. I can agree with his point. I can agree with that.
Try to create some atmosphere about me.
Yeah. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening?
I don't know.
How is this?
Why is she just believing everything her chat says, though? That's a little wild. I mean, if they're bringing their, like, when it comes to the whole Israel thing and, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I have, like, the right to say anything about her. Hila is Israeli. To my knowledge, they're the only one that's Israeli. He's not, so that's to my knowledge. I don't know if he is or not. He might be. I think he is, isn't he? That's why he was there. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. I know he's Jewish. So, he was like, no, they were talking about how they were, in the video Idubbbz made, he was talking about how they were going on a family trip and everything to Israel, and like, in this climate, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I certainly would not. But then again, I'm not Israeli. I'm not from there. I don't know what's going on there specifically. Shit, we could all be being lied to. Fuck it, But, like, I don't think so. And if that's the case, because it definitely is, not all just one big lie, one big scheme as Israel wants it to seem like, that they're just playing victim and not really just victim. Palestinians, they actually are going through something, right? It's a little insensitive to post about how your family is going to vacation there. I don't know when that trip happened, though. You know what I mean? Like, but I do think it would be insensitive to talk about it at all on your live podcast, okay? I think you should take into consideration how it might feel for some other people to see you praising a country doing such shit. Because I'd feel the same way about someone praising America. I would feel like, ugh, not interested. But if I saw someone saying that I looked up to, while other people are a little bit more dramatic about it and they'll maybe even keep following and like comment things like, what's going on? I'll just unfollow. Like, I'll just block, unfollow, next. Because I'm not surprised by people anymore. But if someone I thought had the same morals as me started to show otherwise, I would feel weird about it too. And I think that's what other people are feeling. This, any kind of talk about Israel, especially in a positive light, especially when you say things in my personal experience, during a time and a climate like this one, is just a little much. I just think it's a little much.
Well, it's not.
What a what a despicable human being. I mean, talk about being way over the line, being directly linked to the CPS coming to my house, being unapologetic, being cruel and nasty. And then for Ian to be like, actually, I agree with everything she said and I have no criticism. In fact, I don't even think the context is important, is cowardice on a level that I have maybe never seen on YouTube.
I don't think it's cowardice. I think that's a complete wrong word, and you're being very power hungry in your description. But it's very misinformed. It's very much not reaching what he's trying to reach when he includes people that are letting that happen. I can see the point, 1000%. Cowardice, though? No. I think he would have hid behind more powerful figures, more, whatever. Powerful meaning like high value, high sub count, high traction. I don't know how many people watch those streamers or whatever, but I think he would have gotten a little bit more traction if he was just doing it because he was scared.
He's this guy who's like, I'm doing content, Kev. I talk about everything, and I take everything head on, and I debunk thoroughly. It's like, you threw this video together, clearly. It's just, bro, I don't know. It's so bad. It's just so bad.
So let's watch it.
Hold on one sec. I got it. One sec. I got this.
So last night he used him. Honestly, nothing better than when I got.
Let's see what's in the chat.
That's it.
Okay.
Excuse me. I had to take a call. Anyway, where were we?
Well,
Oh, yes, my friend has passed away. So, yeah, I mean, important context, right?
Yes.
A little bit. You're friends with him, and you don't have to say anything, but, like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, Now, I want to put forth that I really don't think if Adam McIntyre was doing a stream accusing me of neglecting and abusing my children to the point where CPS needs to be called, and she was chatting with him, I don't think she would ever do that. And if she did, I certainly would have a problem with that. Clearly, you can't see the difference, because that's what I'm mad about. Your friend Denham's, who you are in her chat co-signing her, is doing this, which I just showed.
Yeah.
Olivia is friends with someone who's just talking shit. That's not something that, I'm not going to fucking judge her for something like that, okay? What your friends are doing is significantly, and it's so much worse that even comparing it, I can't believe that you actually are doing this in good faith, or if you're actually just so got punched in the head too many times by now.
Also, the fact that he went out of his way to include the crew, and he says with his own mouth, why does Olivia get a pass? Like, so you are choosing to go after the crew when you certainly could just not do that and focus on Ethan.
She's not getting a pass. She didn't do what you did.
Also, you were taking me out of a scary public conversation, and obviously I felt a specific way about the things that he was saying, and you gave me the option to talk to you about it, not in front of everybody, which I was very grateful for.
Of course, you know I got you. Always. And the thing is, like, it was a response to some people. There was some grumbling of people being like, why is Olivia friends with Adam? And I wanted to address that. So, like, this characterization that me trying to, you know, help Olivia in a sticky situation with a friend who's now kind of like turned into an enemy of the show who's talking shit, versus you being friends with Denims doing what I just showed you is not the same thing. In fact, not even close. It's different worlds, man. And like, if you can't see that, then you're like you're a moral baby. You're so undeveloped, bro.
Different perspectives.
Yeah. Gary V's got better perspectives on this, you know. Anywho, okay. Olivia did not do anything, and
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or
it's so pathetically dumb. And I said when you were in the bathroom, I just explained that.
Can we please watch the video?
If you
get to the next point.
If Adam McIntyre was saying, like, doing what she did, being like, oh, let's call CPS, he's an abuser, he neglects his children, like we need to call CPS, etc., I would be mad at you equally. That would be a big problem with me. And it's something, by the way, that you would never do. Obviously, right? Like, let's be real here, you fucking dumbass. A lot of this is just like, you're so dumb.
Yeah.
You're like dumb or bad faith. What happened, bro?
Like,
what happened?
The obvious points. Yeah.
What is happening? I'm like, it is surreal. It just, it's just surreal.
I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
Anyway, here's Ian tearing up a Quran.
It was sent from an electronics place, and it's the full-blown Quran. Some of you guys...
Oh, is this one? We didn't actually even want to show it. So here, you can just switch off.
Bat an eye when I broke that Jesus VHS over my knee.
Here he tears it at the seam.
But I know there's going to be a lot of people in the audience just cringing when I... My money...
Yeah, so he just tore a Quran in half, which I don't think is probably a good thing to do. You know, I'm saying.
Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind. Again, he does this. By the way, his video is literally like co-written by the Snark subreddit, which tells you everything you need to know if you know what that means. He's world building. He does this thing where they basically like dream of a scenario where I'm being nice to Olivia because I'm afraid she's going to sue me. It's like, how did you even leap? There's like 3 leaps in logic of assumptions. And the fact that that point made it into this video as some assertion of fact is truly remarkable stuff. Truly. Putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like...
And like, the point was to also like, I felt like his criticism wasn't really necessary. He was just being mean for the sake of being mean and trying to get like clout with Snark. So obviously he did make a decision in that point to choose clout over Olivia, in my opinion, because he put her in a really bad situation. So anyway, I don't need to explain anymore. It's dumb. You're dumb. It's wrong. You're pathetic. Moving on.
You know what's smart? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Eat smart with Factor.
Other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole...
What is hard? What's happening?
That's another Snark talking point. Is that the crew is just suffering.
They're secretly
to
grumbling.
Be here,
Yeah,
and they really don't want to be here.
My grumbling is not secret.
It's very public.
Very public.
That's true.
And constant.
People constantly forget.
Dan, you fuck!
What a pain in the ass you are. They always leave that out. Yeah, okay, so I'm ruining the life of everyone on my crew, who, by the way, is a slave and here against their will.
Oh my God, people are saying we just made 1 minute in the video.
Oh God, this is why I'm turning the plug-in back on. I gotta turn it back on.
I can't, it's so bad.
You gotta just
Every
save
minute
it.
is just drenched in oozing in pathetic hypocrisy and erroneous fucking assumptions.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It really is a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. I've only made it 1 minute, you guys. I don't know what to do.
And he left so much out. It's like we have to explain all the shit that he didn't include.
Right.
Rush stupid video.
Just look at his
Now we gotta do the work.
Well, the CPS omission is a big one because a lot of this centers around
A
that.
lot of it.
And so
Like-
maybe now that it's been established, you won't have to re-explain it over and over.
No.
No.
Good point. We're just laying some fundamentals. That,
Oh, you were agreeing with me. That no,
I agree.
that no. I was like, okay.
you know, on Wednesday, I accused Ian of getting his tattoos from a quarter.
Bro, I don't
windy
care, bro.
station.
Play the.
I apologize, bro.
Actually stood out for
I don't
you
get
so
it.
many times because like why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was gonna.
Didn't plan to have to say that, by the way.
No.
It does become relevant though at a certain point when you're like, wow, these people are not really good friends of mine. Why is that happening?
This is the day, right? This is the day we
This
got
is
CPS
the
at our
day
house.
that CPS visited us.
When I was so fired up and I was like,
Yes.
"Shit, yes." No, I didn't plan one day in my life to have CPS called on me and you would be friends with people that like created that talking point or at least like made it popular and you wouldn't say anything about them and then I would call you out. Like, no, I never planned that day to come. And I never thought that I would have to be like, I stood up for you and you didn't. No.
It's all part of your sneaky Jew plan. He didn't say that. It's just a little joke. I'm inserting.
But how are you gonna show me in this state, one of our hardest days,
It's horrible.
and you're not gonna say why? What happened?
Totally justifiable anger.
I can't get over that point. I'm gonna keep saying it all day probably.
No, it's
I just can't get over that it's not in the video.
it's very disturbing. I just don't know who this guy is. I really don't.
I'm gonna stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
Yep.
If she was so worked up, she could have just not been on the podcast. She didn't have to be there. She didn't have to go on the podcast or make a statement. They could have paused her. You know what I mean? Like if she clearly can agree that her behavior like wasn't okay. Saying it was one of their hard days. Why did you do your podcast? Like y'all make so much money. You don't need you flaunt about how good y'all are. Why would you even be on your podcast that day?
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we know.
For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well
And
familiar.
sir, do you happen to know of any violence perhaps coming towards Israel, where Hila grew up? Perhaps from Lebanon, Hezbollah, perhaps? Does that ring a bell to you, you dumb, ignorant fuck? How dare you attempt to lecture me on this conflict? You just learned about this like 2 weeks ago, clearly, and you're just deferring to Hassan as an expert. It's mind-bendingly dumb. Bro, please call in and debate me on Israel-Palestine. Let's see who knows more about the conflict, you dumb fuck. Holy shit, dude.
Familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
Okay, so this is very interesting. He says on the day that CPS was called and we're understandably heated, he goes, no, I'm not gonna defend you. Why? Because you're Israeli.
You're Israeli.
That's literally what he said.
Yeah.
Why won't I defend you? Because you're Israeli. That's
Because
that's
you
exactly his
showed
argument. Do I have it
support
wrong?
Include the
live
flags so
for Israel.
a 5-year-old could understand what he was saying. So yes, that's what he was saying.
I feel like that's exactly what he's saying. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He put the Israel flag and he said, no, she's not going to defend you.
Yeah, I just don't want people to be like, that's not what he meant. I mean, I don't see it any other way.
Stop hallucinating anti-Semitism.
So once again, if you had a problem with Israel, dude, you could have had a problem with us when we were friends making videos and, you know, all of a sudden now I'm not going to defend an Israeli. Damn you, Jews! I'm not going to defend an Israeli. Are you serious right now? It doesn't matter if they're right or if my friends are insanely harassing them.
Oh my God. Luke in the chat said, Eli's more Italian than Anissa is Lebanese.
That's a joke. I made that joke.
You said that this morning. That's so funny.
I'm not going to, listen, I'm not going to,
I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Like, this was us as friends. Apparently, you can't stand up to an Israeli. So that's exactly proving what our problem was with you.
Apparently, they secretly hated us.
Yes.
The entire
So,
time.
like, you're exactly proving what the point was that we were making. That you can't stand up for me because I'm an Israeli.
Israels are never worth defending. And
It's not because you're Israeli. It's because you're out here saying it's a wonderful, great place. It's enough to say that you are Israeli, you are in the IDF, and that you don't stand for what's happening right now, and to continuously pull in that lane, in that direction. But it's not okay to talk about visiting, vacationing in Israel, your pride for it, on your podcast or anything meant for your audience that is obviously pro-Palestine, because who wouldn't be? That's their problem.
Yeah, I
anyone
don't want
who's
to be
born
friends
in
with
Israel, anyone who's born in Israel against their choice, people don't choose where they're born, right? We all know that. Anyone who's born in Israel is not worth defending on any condition. I don't even know if he knows that's what he's saying, because he's obviously lost like a lot of brain cells.
If he would have had more proof, more like valid context and evidence as to what he was saying, I mean, it would be bulletproof, you know, his point. But because he just wasn't thorough enough, at least yet, because they have not watched more than apparently a little over a minute. If he didn't have, he just should have had more proof with more context, more. There's no need to explain this. This is everything you need right here. Instead, he was clipping stuff and just throwing it in. I will say that.
He took some denim lessons because he's already owned himself in his own video many times.
That's it.
You just let it run the course, and he owns himself 5 minutes later.
There's actually a condition for this. I forget who coined this, but it's snark brained. You start using snark regularly, and you get.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm an hour in, and I'm fucking bored. So I'm gonna pick this up later. Yeah. Because I wasn't planning on sitting here for 5 hours anyways. But I'm tapped out on this for today, of this drama. Yeah. It's not like anyone's watching this anyways, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna pick this up tomorrow at this time. Maybe tomorrow, who knows? We'll see. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your day, or night, whatever time you end up watching this. Maybe instead of this, my next stream will be like me playing dumb Roblox games, because they're fun. And they're entertaining for me right now while I wait to move. So, later. That was so weird. I'm sorry. Remember to subscribe if you're interested, to fucking, what is it on here? I don't even remember. sub, right? I don't know. Do those things if you feel like it.